Good morning and welcome to the Legit Real Estate Podcast. I am TJ Ciolfi. I'm here with Holly Regoli as always. Good morning, Holly.
Good morning.
Look lovely as usual. We have a guest today. That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
On your screen is Miss Dana Pizzarelli. Dana, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Excited to be here while my cat's attacking me at the same time.
Got to keep
Sounds
it
about
real,
right.
right?
Right? She just attacked
He
the
just
hell
wants to play.
out. Right. She's like, you didn't introduce me? Yeah.
You
Wants
can
to.
introduce her if you want.
Oh
I
no.
did.
Oh, she's
Oh,
got.
the cat?
Oh, my
Where is she?
cat
Bring her.
attacked the hell out of me. I told you, Holly.
Yeah, saying she's feisty.
Right.
That's cool though, because my cat like avoids all of us. It like lives in its own world. It doesn't come near anyone.
Yeah, I was saying ours is very food motivated. He'll show you love because he wants to eat all the time. And the funny thing is he's super skinny. But he runs, you should see him. He just runs up and down the trees like crazy.
The trees,
The trees, you go outside and you see him like way up in a tree, and he runs up and then he runs down. It's the backyard is his playground.
but he couldn't handle the weasel. Couldn't find the weasel.
I told you, but we didn't get to talk about it here. I saw a
Give a
freaking
quick
weasel.
recap because Dana's looking at us like, why are y'all talking about a
Okay,
weasel?
so Dana, I think I told you I have chickens, right?
No.
Okay, so I have chickens. I lost half my flock of chickens to a freaking weasel in one night. Actually, he kept coming back overnight, but we lost 12 in one night over the winter to a freaking weasel. So I've set up traps. I couldn't freaking catch anything. Like it kept coming back. So now we have to like lock them. Like we have a run and there's fencing around it and stuff like that. But in the 13 years I've been here, I've never had to like close them inside the coop at night with the wooden door because the wires have been fine. But these weasels can get inside and
They eat chickens?
oh yeah, they kill them. They eat their heads off, pull their heads off. Like they kill way more than they can eat.
Look at her face.
Oh
Her
my
face.
It's
God.
so it
So
was
when Holly first told
devastating.
the story, I Googled a picture of a weasel and they look cute. But then if you find one with their mouth open, they look vicious. They're like scary looking little creatures.
Because I'm trying to like imagine what this would look like right now, and it's not like computing. Weasel.
So they look like a ferret.
Okay.
They're basically ferrets, I think, are weasels. But my dog, last week, I'm on the deck in the front, in the backyard, and my dog gets all excited and runs off the deck. And I'm thinking the neighbor's dog's here and she's going to play. And then I see her in the yard and she's face to face with this thing. And she's like pouncing like she plays with my cat. And I'm like, what the hell? And it like, and then I realized later, I don't think it was like the little weasel that like got into the coop because this was a little bit bigger. I think it was a Fisher cat because when it started running away, I looked up like I was like, that's too big to be a weasel. But I was like, son of a bitch. I'm like, I had just taken the hardware cloth off from the sides of my coop that I had resecured because I buried some to try to stop the freaking rats that we have in there. And I have to go redo all the stuff. So now I'm paranoid that this thing's gonna dig in
No,
and
no
get to
one
my
told you
chickens.
to like move to the middle of nowhere. And this is what you're gonna deal with out there.
Oh, I'd rather deal with this than
It's
being in the
up.
city.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's
That's
scary.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
that is Terry, ain't
terrifying.
it? It's wild, right?
That's
Yep. Yep. So,
So, Holly, you wanted to talk about hard money today. Dana, do you have any experience with hard money?
well, I want to hear Dana's stories first. We'll save hard money for another
Yes,
day unless we have time today, because hard money can be its own
sounds good.
thing. I
Even
want to
better.
hear Dana's fun, exciting, interesting stories she's dealt with. Now, Dana, can you explain? You're a realtor, and you've got a lot of other things under your belt. We'd love to hear some fun stories that you've encountered.
so, TJ, I know we haven't gotten a chance to talk like one on one, but before I came to HomeSmart, I was with Century 21, but our office was out in Cambridge. So, I did a lot of rentals. I have a lot of rental experience, but primarily dealing with renter clients instead of the actual like landlords. So that was what I was doing for like a year and a half. With that being said, um, I tried to transition that coming into the Rhode Island market once I knew I was going to be making my exit and probably coming over here. And I, I had an experience working with an owner for a rental unit in Providence that completely never made me want to work with an owner for a rental property ever again. And I don't know if it's because we were kind of, I don't want to say we were friends, but I was introduced to this gentleman through a very good friend of mine. And he's a little bit younger guy. We're pretty close in age, so like personality wise we got along, but business just absolutely not. So I listened to you guys' last podcast and you had the segment of like, am I the asshole? So
Oh yes.
that's kind of what I want to do right now with this. And I want you guys to tell me if you think I'm
If
the
you're the asshole,
yeah.
oh dear, no
All
pressure.
right. Right. Okay. So like I said, I met this guy through a very close friend of mine. And we had hung out in the past, like all of us, we've gotten food together, whatever. I knew he had rental units all over Providence. And he's never used an agent before, for the rentals at least. So he had this apartment maybe like 3 minutes from my house right now. And this is funny because if this ever goes on, if Holly, if you start doing the snippet things and I take one, he's probably going to see this. He still follows me on
That's okay. Just don't
Instagram.
mention his
And I
name.
don't care.
That's
No, I
okay.
don't care.
He'll
He
share it
knows
with
I
all
got
his
my
friends,
vendetta with
right?
him. I don't care. He knows. Um, so anyway, we're talking and I'm like, hey, because he was kicking out the current tenants that he had. They were there for like 3 years. He was getting them out because he was raising the rent and they didn't want to pay. They were paying like 1,600 for a 3 bedroom right next to Federal Hill.
Oh,
Double collar, yeah, washer dryer. Granted, it wasn't the most like updated thing in the world, but the apartment was like 1,200 square feet, 1,600. Um, so he was raising, I think he wanted to try to get like 2,000 for it. I thought it was possible. There was some
Oh,
cosmetic,
absolutely.
yeah, there's cosmetic things. I said, hey, if you want to take care of some of these cosmetic situations, you could probably even get 22. Um, so he's like, yeah, we'll talk about it. So people get out. Um, him and I talk about what needs to be done. So the first thing was cleaning, right? So now I'm the type of person where if I can just do it, I'll do it,
you're
right?
in the right
Same.
conversation.
Right. I'll
Same.
do it. Like I'm not gonna tell, oh, spend $500 to hire cleaners for, part, like I'm not gonna do that. I'll just do it, right? I'm Italian. We like to clean. So for me, it was relaxing time for me. So I get in there. These tenants trashed this place as if they were getting evicted and like had their own
Oh,
personal vendetta with him, right? So he's like, yeah, I'll come up there and I'll help you clean it, whatever the case. I get up there. I'm up there for like 3 hours. I look out the window. I see him getting out of his car and he's bringing like snow. This is in the winter at this point. I think this is in February. He's bringing out like snowboard materials. I'm like, oh, this kid wasn't even home. So I'm up there cleaning the entire apartment by myself. Couldn't even touch the fridge. I wasn't doing it. But
Oh,
I want to preface actually before I get into the rest of this story, I made the mistake and I will never do this again, where you think you're friends and buddy with somebody. So I said instead of charging a full month's rent fee, I'll do it for $500.
oh, I've done that before. And yeah, those are the worst ones. TJ knows the ones I
every.
charge the
Mhm.
least amount are the ones I get so
Yeah.
the worst.
Yep. When you get a discount client, they run you through the ringer. You have to do 10 times more work
Right.
and they bust your chops. You get a doctor, he pays you 3%. He doesn't talk to you during the whole deal because he's a professional. He doesn't have time to waste yours.
So anyway, I get in there, I do all the cleaning and stuff like that. Apartment looks great. Couple days go by. Oh, we're gonna go in there. We're gonna paint it. We're gonna paint it. This is him telling me, oh, we're gonna go in there. We're gonna paint it. I want you at my house at this day, at this time. Get up there and paint it.
For
Run
you
the
to paint it with him.
right. But
Oh, that's
like
brave.
I said, it's always doing it together. We're doing it together, right? Every time I went in that apartment, I was alone. And every time I went in that apartment, it was dirtier than the last time I was in there. I'm like, what are you doing up here? So I
So
went,
he's living there and he's gonna rent it out. right? Like he's living there, he's gonna move out and rent it out, or like
No,
is
so
No, she said there were
he had a
tenants, right?
bottom. They were tenants. He owned the building, but he actually lived in the building at the bottom floor. So this is the third floor. So he's going up there. I don't know whatever he's doing, but he's making my life harder, like purposely making it a mess, and I have to go in there and clean it all over again.
that's ridiculous. Why is he even up there if he's not working and painting and
Beats me. I was trying
500
to
bucks.
figure it out the whole time.
You're,
I still don't
you're
know.
already on like 4 hours of labor.
oh my God.
So I get up there. There's paint buckets just dropped in front of the door, whatever. I bring them in. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just go over some things, paint some things. Now, me, once I start something, I can't stop.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a matter of, okay, I'm just gonna touch things up. I went and I painted each and every room. There are three bedrooms, there are two living rooms, there is a separate nook kitchen and the actual eating kitchen.
Oh my God.
I
You're
went
looking at four, or at least $400 to $500 per room what a painter
Yes.
would charge.
Right. I will say this though, on the second room, I definitely started giving up. So I just
But
It's
still,
on my it's in one of my Instagram highlights. You go on and honestly, you guys should hire me for contract
she is
work.
freaking hysterical, by the way. I checked out her Instagram and I was dying laughing, and need her to help me. Like I need some help with. She might come and teach us social media in our office because she's freaking hysterical. I love what she does.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
talked
even
to
have
Jen about that
Instagram.
yesterday. She's letting me do it, so we're gonna figure it out.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, excited.
So in the end, did you get the rental listing and did you find him a tenant?
Well, I got the rental listing. I was that while I was working on trying to get tenants in there, I was doing all this. So I was doing the showings and having conversations with everybody like, hey, I'm still in the process of, or we're still in the process of doing stuff in here. Okay, whatever. So he gave me 30 days to rent it. I was only going to take 500 bucks. To make this very long story short, the amount of work and labor I put into this property towards the end of it, we had 2 days before our contract had expired. And I was upset at this point because I knew it wasn't going to go, and the amount of work I did to it, plus the amount of problems he was giving
Hmm.
the whole time, and he wouldn't do anything to help or whatever the case may be. So, I ended up having these tenants who they were from New Hampshire, but they had gotten evicted from their property that they were at for 12 years. And they were living in a hotel. It was a family of five. And this apartment, it was right in their budget, but they were very, very like upfront about the fact that it wasn't the quality they're looking for, but they were living in a hotel. They needed somewhere to
Why
go.
were they evicted?
Um, if I remember some of the story correctly, and it could have been bullshit, whatever, but something the husband, I guess their rent wasn't coming out. They thought it was coming out of a certain account. He messed it and it never was, and they owed too much in back pay. So they just,
Mm.
I don't know, people are weird.
Sketchy.
But at this point, I'm like, listen, if it gets
Just
somebody
get somebody in here. I want some money.
he told, well, even that, I don't want to put somebody crappy in the apartment, but he
Yeah.
specifically told me, and I asked these questions at first. I said, what kind of tenant are you looking for in here? Do you have a minimum credit score? Do they need to make 2 or 3 times the rent? He said, I don't care. Just get someone in here. He said, I don't care. Just get someone in here. If they seem like good people, just get them in here. Okay. They seem like good people going through a hard time. So
Hmm.
I said, okay, here are clients who want to take your apartment. They're even willing to pay an extra $200 a month for it. They'll do a month-to-month lease with you just in case, so you're not locked in. God forbid something happens with them. I can't believe you're bringing me people like this. The whole reason why I was using you is so I didn't have to go through this. Gave me the whole spiel. Then it got into the argument
Oh my
of
God.
I did nothing the entire time. I made his life harder. He could have just got somebody in there himself, and they would have been in there months ago. I barely did anything I said I was gonna do. I cost him money and his time. He told my friend he would never work with me again. I'm bad for
Oh my God.
so I would never work with her again. She's bad for business. You didn't do anything you said you were going to do. Now, I was beside myself at this point. But that day that we were having this conversation, the day after our contract would have expired, I had one prospective person who was supposed to go over there and do a tour. Now, after he is saying all this to me, I'm not going over there, but still this person wanted to check out this apartment. I said, you know what? I think the owner's over there because he doesn't like oh, by the way, he pretends he's not the owner to his tenants, so he doesn't have to deal with the problems.
Oh my God.
He goes, oh,
Oh, that's
he's,
so
I'm
real
just,
winning this
I
guy.
He
work with
sounds like a
prostitutes.
tool.
Yes. So I go, oh, I think the owner's over there, so you can go meet him, whatever the case may be. Unfortunately, our contract's expiring, so I can't really step in on this anymore, but I'm sure he'll be happy to meet you. So I send this woman over to the property. He rents it to her. Through me, mind you. I saw not a dollar, not a dime from that. I guess a week later, my friend who connected us was telling me, I guess they were in a whole argument about things that needed to be fixed upstairs. And he was telling her they were arguing outside. I'm not the owner. I'm not the owner.
Oh my
Help him.
God. No, you are definitely not the asshole in this one, but he
No,
certainly is.
he clearly is. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is not even that's not even a hard one.
I know.
Um, it's weird because usually when you deal with a rental, it's the tenants that are the insane ones, not the owners.
Yeah.
Usually the
Yeah.
owner has their shit together, and it's the tenants that are like, "Oh my God, you can't believe this guy."
Yeah. So lessons learned on
You
that
don't work with
one.
trade.
Everything for me, I just take everything as a lesson learned. Lessons learned is that I will never sell myself short for a discounted listing and then do 99.9% of the work.
Oh my God. But
It's
you know what?
always the discounted ones that get
I've
fixed.
been there, right? When I first got into real estate, I was taking like clients, buyer clients that were looking way the hell out, like an hour and a half away from where I live, and like nitpicky and I'm just like now like and the things that I've done, I've bent over backwards. Even last year I had a listing and it was so crazy. The lady's like, "You're not really doing I want to have broker open houses and wanting me to put out spreads of food and all this stuff." And she had a very unique, interesting property like that was it was hard to sell in the area it was in, what she wanted for the price, what she had done for work versus what, and it was an old church that she turned into a residence,
Oh, wow.
and but she had said things that made it sound like I wasn't doing my job, and I'm like, I'm bending over backwards. I spent so much money. I also was away for periods of time, and I had paid one of our top real like a top-notch realtor to cover. Like I paid hundreds of dollars. I was out of pocket like $1,200 on this thing, and she's like, it just yeah, I don't think I'm gonna keep it on the market. And like you lose money and time. And it's weird to cut those cords before it becomes a problem.
Well, because the thing is, you feel like you already invested so much into it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I got to get something out of it. And
Yeah.
that was my thought process while I was still doing all of this. Like
Yeah.
it actually, like I was making it sound good on here because this is going online and stuff. I was making it as PG as possible, but it was a nightmare. And
Oh, you don't have to keep things PG here.
yeah, well, potty mouth. So, it's the Italian and TJ.
That's TJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But
Um,
I'm talking to my partner and he's telling me the same thing. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, he goes, for $500, what are you doing? You're in a month and a half on this. He's like, you're gone for 5 hours a day. You're paying. What are you doing? He goes, he's the owner of it. Tell him to get his ass over there and do something about it if he wants good people in there. And then the
Yeah.
fact that he ended up taking the person that I sent over on the last,
And then
technically,
didn't pay you.
didn't give me a
now see
dollar.
on a buyer contract, that's procuring cause, and you would get paid.
Right, but it was $500. It's going to cost more to go to court. That's where I was
No
like,
kidding.
Yeah.
so
But
stupid.
it is hard to cut the cord, Holly, especially if you're working with somebody like a buyer for a year, 6 months to a year or something. And you know damn well when you're driving to the showing, I'm working with people like that right now. When I had to show them a house in North Smithfield last night. I pulled into the driveway and I'm like, nope. And it's like, when do you cut the cord? Because I have so many hours invested in these people that like I want the check at the end of it.
Yeah.
Because you
What
know
made
what'll
you say
happen?
no?
I'll tell them to take a hike, and they'll text me next weekend and say we went to an open house and we're going to use the listing agent.
Yeah.
Like that shit happens.
Oh my God, that's so frustrating. So what made you pulled in the driveway yesterday? What made you turn around and say no?
It just needed so much work. Like the
Oh.
pictures were deceiving. I pulled up and these guys don't want to do vinyl siding, and it needed a whole new vinyl siding. The
Hmm.
grass in the back looked like it hadn't been cut since like the 70s. It was
Yeah.
like the grass was so high it was starting to split like hay.
Yeah.
And my people are kind of bougie, so I knew they weren't going to go for it. But like now, I just drove 20 minutes there. It's 20 minutes home.
Yeah.
It's an hour of my day. I don't know what I would have done during that hour, but it would have been better than driving on Route 7. It's
Yeah.
like, but you can't cut the cord with these people because there's a $15,000 commission at the end of it at some point, and I want them to buy a house. It's just
Well, I again, like, and I know you know the story. The first house I flipped, the person that bought it from me, I helped him sell the house last year. And or maybe yeah, it was last year. But it was like day before closing, and he's still living in there, hasn't moved anything out. And so I'm over there packing up his truck because he's got a back injury. I ended up having two of his junk cars stored at my property for a couple days. I had to like the bending over backwards and the stuff that I had to do like in that house. I was there cleaning it because I was like, we can't leave it not clean for these people coming in. And I went through all this stuff, and my husband was there helping me, and he's like, "Oh my God, thank God we're done with this." He reached out to me recently because he wants to buy a house. And I'm like, and my husband's like, "Oh, no, 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 no." He's like, "Just tell him go somewhere else." And I'm like, "But I'm trying. I'm like trying to get him pre-qualified." And but in the meantime, he's like living in a camper and towing it around everywhere. And he's like, everybody keeps kicking me out of the parking lots or wherever I park. And I'm like, well, here's this
well,
campground.
yeah.
They're open. Go get a seasonal site. He's like, that's too expensive. And I'm like, and here I am. I'm like, all right, but I also have that mentality where I want to help people too.
Hmm.
But my husband's like, no, no.
Hmm. I do the same
So I
thing.
have a general rule that if my wife knows the people's name, that's bad because I don't talk about I don't talk about work a lot. Like I'm not that person that like she walks in the door and I blast her with, "Oh, I'm showing 3 houses tonight to Bob, Bob, Billy, and Holly." I don't do that. But if there's somebody that's under my skin to the point where I'm talking about it to her, then it's a client problem, and I should probably drop them, but I never do. I'm a
Yeah.
sucker.
So in the
So are
rental
you going
area,
to continue rentals?
What is that? What did you
Dana,
say?
are you going to keep doing rentals?
God, no.
I
No, we're
think I
done.
convinced you to stop,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah. No, after we had that conversation,
But
and
but TJ, she wasn't only doing rentals here. She was driving to Cambridge in like the
all of
Boston
Boston.
area
Yeah.
to do rentals.
Mhm. From here to Boston, from
But I
Providence.
got to imagine the rents in Cambridge have to be what, $3,000.
They are. So that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like dropping a bad client when you know you should drop it. It was so like, if just one of these goes through, there's my home, there's my rent, there's my car, you know what I mean? It was tough. It's tough.
It's a lot
But
of
Mhm.
driving
yeah,
around though.
that I didn't realize until I think when Holly and I spoke a couple weeks ago and really put it in perspective of how much time I'm investing into getting the process started to get nothing out of it. I mean, last year I had a lot of momentum, and I think that's why I kept going because I closed 17 rental deals like just last
Oh,
summer.
that's a living. That's a living right there. Yeah.
Right. And then, I closed one in January, and then for 5 or 6 months, I'm sitting here like chasing the tail, doing the same thing over and over again, and nothing's happening and nothing's moving. So I'm like, okay, if I took, say, after a co-broke listing, say I made 1,700 $1,700, and if I break that down, how many hours per day for the last 6 months I've worked? It's nothing. It's
Better
nothing.
off being at. Yeah. In tough times, you look at that. I drive by a McDonald's on Atwood Avenue all the time. It'll be like closers, 1960 an hour. And I'm like, well,
Oh my
I
God.
kind of didn't make that this month.
Smithfield, the one right at Apple Valley Mall. I drove by it yesterday. $16 an hour.
you know, in a slow month, I'm wondering, like, do I do this? Will anyone know me? Do you live in Smithfield?
No, I live in Providence.
In
I'm right off of
Providence, what
the
part?
hill.
Where on the hill?
Right off of it, Night Street.
Oh yeah, I know Knight Street. I had a 6 unit on Knight Street. That client was nuts. We never sold it. That guy had a 6 unit on Knight Street. He had a mansion behind a gate in Smithfield. He used to sell toys, like Chinese toys, and he made like millions, but he gambled it all away. His
Yeah.
house right now, it's abandoned. Like he lost everything, and he wanted me to sell it before all the liens kicked in, and I just couldn't do it fast enough. Yeah, his house was so nice. We had the guy that like, we had like the guy that owns like Tasca was like looking at it, one of the Tascas, and it was gorgeous. But he wouldn't let me show the basement because he was growing pot down there, him and his kids, and he ended up losing everything,
That's
which is
awful.
a
Sad.
damn shame. Yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad for his kids
From gambling?
from gambling. Yeah,
Oh, that's so scary. It's
I'm sure there was
gambling and
some drink.
drugs.
I'm sure there was some drinking involved too. I mean, he had like that permanently red face.
That's
Uh,
awful.
It's like,
Gambling, drugs, drinking, all that stuff can completely ruin anything.
yeah, I just
yep.
deleted my prize picks last night.
Your prize picks?
My prize picks. You know what prize
What's a
picks
prize
is?
pick?
No,
You guys know what prize picks is?
no. Maybe we're too
We're,
You
old.
know
are we gonna
DraftKings?
feel old right now?
Yeah.
No, you know DraftKings? Come on, TJ.
Oh,
You know
Yeah.
DraftKings.
Yeah, all right. So it's kind of like that where you can bet like oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I got
Everything.
you can bet like you can bet like your parlay so for certain players to do certain things or whatever the case may be, but you pick like certain squares, you can do the over under on them. But I think you can only go up to six. And
You know sports like that?
so that I taught myself how to play basketball by doing this, and now I watch it just because of this.
Oh, that's funny.
No,
Oh,
it's
you
so
just made a new
bad.
best friend.
Oh,
It's
can you be
so
my best
bad.
friend?
You
I
do
can
know
take.
that
Can I
basketball
submit
is
an
TJ's
application?
life, right?
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my
I
God.
coach women's college
His
basketball and
Achilles.
everything.
You seen what happened to Jason Tatum?
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, he just had surgery for his
I
Achilles.
know. I'm a Sixers fan.
Re-
Um,
Oh,
did you play basketball in high school?
no.
Oh,
She
you
said she
didn't.
just
Never
taught
did
herself
basketball.
playing from DraftKings.
Yeah, now she gambles. All my friends do.
Yeah,
All of my friends do. And I'll tell you what, when we went to the NCAA tournament was in Providence, so we had like 12 tickets, and my son came with me. He's 10. He's actually today's his birthday. Happy birthday, Tommy.
Happy
Uh,
birthday.
turns 11. But every single line you're in, all people are talking about is their stupid part or their bets. I got the over on this. I got this with the money line. I got this guy scoring more than 12. He's
yep.
got 8.5. And it's to the point where it's just everywhere. And I have to constantly tell Tommy, because I don't gamble.
Yeah.
Money's too hard to get. Like I just won't. And I constantly have to reinforce it to Tommy because my friends are all degenerates.
Yeah.
But it's small money, like $5, $10, $20.
See,
But
that's
it
the thing. That's
consumes.
small money to me too. Small money to
Yeah,
me. I
I
would
mean,
never.
it's not like they're betting thousands,
Yeah.
but it really consumed. I couldn't believe it at the dunk. It was everywhere. That's all people were talking about.
That's nuts.
Mhm.
See, I don't do anything like
Yeah.
that because I don't know sports at all. Like if I'm gonna gamble, I'll go to the casino and take $200 and I know I'm going there with the anticipation of losing it. And if I win, that's a bonus, but I go with the anticipation of losing it and just having fun.
Well, that's what they say. Like if you're gonna gamble, like go with money that you know you're gonna lose, and that's it.
Hmm.
The problem is when you lose it, and then you go, all right, well, I got to break even. I got to make it
I gotta
back.
chase it. Yeah.
That's the
So
Yeah.
when I turned 21, my grandfather's a big gambler, cards, gin. He used to take people's paychecks. Like he's like that. LaBianca is his last name. They call him Sonny. He was like that.
So it was like,
So
My great grandfather too. So they would do poker. He would cheat though. He would hide the cards under his ass, and then he'd get to go to the bathroom, and everybody would think, but they called him Sonny too. That's funny.
so grandpa, when I turned 21, he took me to Foxwoods. Now, Foxwoods was pretty new when I was 21, so it was like a big deal to go there. And he said, I'll give you $100. And he's like, do what you will with it. It's yours to spend. I didn't spend that money. I walked around Foxwoods for 8 hours. I came right back in the car. I still had that same $100 bill. Like, there'll be no gambling.
oh,
I love
really?
Yeah, he was
That's good.
pissed.
I was
Yeah.
dating my
He was
husband,
pissed.
and when we were dating, we went to Foxwoods for the first time, and he gave me like $200 to spend. I spent like 190 of it in like, or whatever was less the cost of going into bingo, right? I spent it within like 15 minutes, and then we're like, let's just go play bingo because at least we can get a while out of this one.
Those machines, you just push and lose your money. It's wild. The people
Hmm.
at the track, I used to go to the track a lot. I don't know why I used to end up there a lot when
Yeah,
they
if you
had the
don't gamble,
dogs.
why did you go to the track?
My friends gamble. I go with them. I'm
Oh,
not like opposed. I'm not morally opposed to it. I just don't do it. But you see the old people down there just like banging away at those machines, like trying
Hmm.
to hit a jackpot that's never going to come. And it's like by the fourth of the month, they don't have money for food. It's wild.
yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's
So because we're running a little short on time, there's something I can do, and I can edit this out too. I can either start us a new Zoom if you've got a couple other itching stories that you want to share, Dana. I just have to make sure I'm out of here by like 10:15. Do you have any
Just
other
come back next
itching?
week. I have to take a shower and go.
Yeah, we can do next week if you want.
All right.
Yeah, you can come back every week if you want. I think you're terrific.
Oh, thank you. It's only because he knows I like basketball now.
I mean,
We,
I don't think
we,
Holly has anyone.
I'm
I
a
think the
Celtics
third
fan
person
though. I'm
adds a.
sorry. I'm a Celtics fan.
it does.
That's
It
all
ends
right.
up being like a panel. So though it doesn't turn into I may not be Italian, but we're turning into an Italian show with
Next
our
week we're
last
doing
names.
recipes.
The recipes.
Ne- Next week we're doing
I'm
recipes.
actually putting on the crock pot. I'm doing what do you call it? Braised short rib
Oh,
tonight.
nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I
We went
freeze the
to
rest
for
of it.
Mother's Day. I took it to Massimo on the Hill, and I got short rib gnocchis. It was terrific.
I love Massimo
I
so
should have
good.
got mashed potatoes on the side though because it was kind of like one note, but it was good.
See, you Italians like to cook. I'm the one that lives with an Italian husband. So he was up at 4 o'clock in the morning on Mother's Day because he insisted he wanted to like smoke a pork butt. I felt so bad for him. So our dinner was at 1 o'clock. It was still 50 degrees short of where it needed to be to be cooked. And so we didn't eat. We had hamburgers and hot dogs until like at that point. Then around 4:30, 5 o'clock, he pulls it off because it's like it's finally done. It actually had to rest an hour and he goes to shred it. He wanted it to be pulled pork and it was like a pork roast. And he was so
Um,
upset. He made his own
Uh,
barbecue sauce to go with it. I felt so bad for him.
so it was tougher, right? So he couldn't.
It was like a pork roast consistency, so you couldn't shred it.
Yeah, you can't cut that. You got to cut that up into cubes.
Yeah, but he loves cooking, has a passion for it. Me, I cook out of necessity to feed the family.
2 feet the
we're
family.
cooking for like 60 people on Sunday for Tommy's birthday. We got sausage and peppers. We got chicken parm, and we're going to do it.
Oh my God, you put me to shame.
Holly, there's 2 minutes left on our clock over here. Where can the people find us?
We are the Legit Real Estate Podcast. We want more guests on the show because it's so much more fun when we have guests. And TJ and I have run out of stories. Not run out of stories, but it would be better to have other people's stories. You can reach us at the Legit Real Estate Podcast at gmail.com. Let us know you want to come on. We are on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and everywhere that you have podcasts. So please like, subscribe, follow all that stuff so that, you can know when we got new stuff coming out.
I got to go on Instagram. I don't have Instagram. I feel like
Dana
it would be
does.
fun.
Check out Dana on Instagram.
I'm going to try and find you. Is it just your name? Is that all I have to do? Because I have the app, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't have to be logged into Facebook because I don't have Facebook anymore.
No, they're two separate things.
No,
They're
yeah.
separate, but
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Well, I think
All
if you
right.
go to it, it's going to say, well, you have to sign up to Instagram and you don't
All
have any,
right. And
you don't do that like Instagram for your stuff?
no, I need to learn how.
TJ is really bad with social media. He puts too much political stuff, so he had to take his social media down.
I had to take my I had to take my social media down because I applied for a coaching job, which I did not get. And I was worried that the hiring committee was going to look at my Facebook and be like, yeah, we don't want this guy.
Yeah, they do that now, don't they? They do
They
like
do that. So I took it down.
They're
yeah.
telling the kids in high school now to have Instagram that are involved in sports, and that is how the people are finding them for college is their Instagram
Yeah,
stuff.
That's how
it's
they're
like an
weeding them
online
out for
portfolio.
sure.
Yeah. So Dana's going to teach us all about that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta correlate with Jen. She's gonna send me a schedule and we're gonna figure out how
Awesome.
exactly how I'm gonna do this. But
Well,
We're
you
about to
guys
get
have
blasted off.
a great
Have a
day.
great day, everybody.
Thank you, Dana.
bye, thank you.
Take care. Bye.